Shalom, shalom. All right, before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you, brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word and truth and sincerity. And shalom to you, believers out there, the Aki and Wa'akwa. And I was on Rumble and I seen this, little quick 7-minute video. All right, you see the title of the lesson is the same as the title. Bill, your boy Billy G, orders governments to blacklist citizens who share non-mainstream content online. So let me get this scripture first. All right, because these devils, they already know what's going on. Basically, they have a thing called disinformation, misinformation. But a lot of what they want to do is they want to get rid of the men that's teaching the scriptures in its purest form. They want to get rid of the Bible altogether because the Bible is the word, it's the truth. All right, so this devil know what he got a short time just by the Israelites waking up. Revelation 12:12, it says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." He noticed. This devil noticed. Who is the devil I'm referring to? Is not the spiritual being Satan. All right. It's the so-called white man, the Esau Edom, the Edomites, the elites. They know that their time is almost up. In the NLT, it says, "Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens. Rejoice, but terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has a little time." This guy is angry. This man is angry. That's why he come up with misinformation, disinformation, the anti-sim, all of these things. That's why brothers is constantly getting strikes on their channel. You get a strike, you can't record for 7 days, 14 days, or whatever. Channels getting taken down. That's part of that coming down with that great wrath, believe it or not, cutting off the internet. But that also goes into what? The famine of the word. Okay, because it will be a famine of the word. Matter of fact, let me bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Because now I want to get that precept. All right, so that's in that's Amos chapter 8. So when you go to Amos 8, starting at verse 11, it says, "What? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a famine, nor a thirst for water, but even though there will be a famine of bread and water, all right, but of hearing the words of the Lord." Yeah, this is a part of that. When this devil say he want governments to crack down on the internet, on citizens who don't share non-mainstream in parentheses, that means companies that's bought and paid for content online. That's a part of the famine of the word. Because brothers teaching, they could just be shut down. And they shall wander from sea to sea. Because you're going to be going from the Atlantic to, you're going to be going from the Red Sea to the, this sea. No, that means you're going to be on the internet searching. You're going to be, in those days, you're going to be trying to search these, what's going on. You're going to be trying to find the brothers that was on the street, find the brothers that was on the internet, who you didn't listen to, who you didn't hearken to. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord. Are you going to run from this way to that way? No. You might be out in the street looking for brothers, but brothers ain't going to be on the street. No, you're going to be searching the internet and shall not find it. That's why this truth is precious. You know what I'm saying? Anything precious is basically limited edition. That means it's not going to just be around forever. See, you have limited edition cars, limited edition shoes, limited edition clothes, limited edition glasses. You're going to have this truth. It's more precious than all of them. So guess what? It's limited edition, meaning you got to soak it up right now. Get it while it's hot, as they say. All right, so let me play some of the video.
Is now threatening to disable the Bill Gates' Microsoft is now threatening to disable the computers of users who share so-called misinformation online, as Bill Gates and the WEF continue gearing up for the 2024 election season in the only way they know how, by working on an authoritarian plan to censor all opposition, criminalize so-called misinformation, steal the US election, and install puppet governments in penetrated liberal democracies all around the world. The elites know the people are rising up against them, and like cornered rats, they're now desperate to silence the opposition and crush any dissent against their totalitarian vision of a new world order. For those who are paying attention, this dystopian vision is playing out in front of our very eyes, and it's our responsibility to stop these tyrants in their tracks. Before we dive in, subscribe to the People's Voice Rumble channel and join our locals community. To support the channel, join our incredible community and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Bill Gates understands better than most of the elites that the people are not going to be satisfied with prison time for his crimes against humanity. And the Microsoft founder has become increasingly bullish about eliminating freedom of speech on the internet.
Well, the misinformation about vaccines and associating certain people like myself or Fauci having malign intent with vaccines, that was most acute in the United States.
But that hasn't stopped Gates traveling the world on his private jet and complaining about misinformation to anybody who'll listen. Here he is in Australia, where he told the state-funded ABC that he was working with tech platforms to eradicate social media users who speak out against his agenda.
A virulent conspiracy theory emerged during the pandemic that you were using vaccines, using the vaccine rollout to control people, even to the extent of people claiming you wanted to insert chips inside them. Now, a lot of those ideas were spread by tech companies, by platforms owned by tech companies. Did you ever complain to them about those debates going on unchecked?
Yeah, I mean, I think every time the question's asked, it helps spread the rumor. So, maybe I should complain even more. But I certainly point out false stories when they're published, or even people who highlight sort of almost silly misinformation.
But did you talk to the tech companies about how those debates were being carried out?
Yeah, there's a constant dialogue of anybody who gets, this crazy stuff published, of going to the digital platforms and saying, hey, look at this, look at that.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella told NBC's Lester Holt this week that people sharing misinformation should not be protected by freedom of speech laws. In his opinion, the world needs a new Geneva Convention to deal with anybody who dares to share information that exposes the global elite. That's right. The Microsoft CEO is comparing free speech on the internet with the international law that regulates armed conflict. Listen carefully to his words. The Microsoft CEO actually admits that this is part of the elite's vision of a new world order.
When you have an adversary who is a nation state or a country that is, got institutional sort of, strength, or organizations that are both well-resourced and are relentless in attacking, I'm glad that we have the capability we have to even detect what they're doing. I really, really hope, whether it's the US, it's about Russia or China in particular, these are the three powers who need to come together and really settle on some Geneva Convention. Because if this is about two nation states attacking each other, and especially civilian targets, then we're in a very new world order. And it's a breakdown of world order, which I think we've not seen before.
Bill Gates and his cronies are not just talking about clamping down on free speech. As we speak, they're quietly, deceitfully putting the dominoes in place to completely obliterate the legal rights of ordinary people to dissent against their evil agenda.
You see? So it's just not about free speech. That's why I got Revelation 12 and 12. And again, even if you get it in the CSB, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and you that and you dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you with great fury, because he know his time is short. Yeah, all of this information of the scriptures coming out, and then you have their own tongues falling upon them. You got Egyptian versus Egyptian, meaning the so-called white man versus the so-called white man. You know, they got internal conflict. It's just, it's the writings on the wall per se. Okay, but this devil is, it's always something higher. You know, the ultimate goal is to really, first of all, you Israelites is always the main target. All right, and then it's going to be who, the brothers that's teaching is the main target. That's why, let's see, when you go here to let's go to Luke 21. Luke 21 and 12, it says what? But before all these, because Yahushua, you know, was explaining what was going to happen, you know, upon his coming. So getting to the point, Luke 21 and 12, it says what? But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So it's going to be brothers that's teaching, that's going to be brought up to the kings and the rulers of the earth, going to be locked in the concentration camps. You even going to have sisters that's believers. Okay, it's going to be the martyrs. That's part of that persecution. That's part of the devil coming down with great wrath. All right, because he know he got a short time, man. So when this word was brought forth, and these devils, because this word have what? Went to the gates of the nobles. So this devil, knowing the Israelites waking up, those dry bones waking up, he know that's a sign of his kingdom going down. So now we get to certain points like this where, you know, your boy Billy G, he wants the governments, that's plural. He didn't say the government, basically, of the United States, governments, that's plural, to blacklist citizens who share non-main, that mean that's outside the circle, outside your mainstream news, who they control, and they can put their agenda out. That's why he said what? They, let's go back to this. What did he say?
Deceitfully putting the door.
Order. I mean, it's a break of world which I think we have not seen before.
Listen to what he said.
It's just tapping down on free speech. As we speak, they're quietly, deceitfully putting the dominoes in place to completely obliterate the legal rights of ordinary people sent against their evil agenda.
See, so this is what they want to do. It's not just about the free speech. They deceitfully. Let's get this. Let's go to Psalm 52. So now let's go to Psalm 52. Psalm 52 and verse 2. It says, thy tongue devises mischiefs like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. And what did he just say? He just said what? They let's go back to it.
Speech. As we speak, they're quietly, deceitfully putting the dominoes in place.
They quietly, deceitfully putting the dominoes in place. Because even when you go back to the humble beginnings of this devil, Esau, Edom, all right, in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, what did it say? It said that he was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. That's not talking about actual animals like lions, zebras, and no, because all of these other nations will be considered a beast. All right, but he was more subtle, meaning what? Let's get a definition of that.
Subtil.
Wait, why is it in a different language? I got my stuff in. Why is it in French? Let me see if I did something wrong. Yeah, why is my thing in French? Bear with me, brothers and sisters. You know how Satan gotta. Let me get that. I don't know why I said French. It shouldn't be in French. All right, so subtle. It says subtle, elusive, cunning, crafty. All right. So this devil is very, very crafty, man. And that's how the Lord made him. Devil, Esau, these Edomites. So now let's go back to Psalms. Salakia for all of that. It says, thy tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good and lying rather than speak righteousness. Yeah, this devil love putting out their misinformation and disinformation. That's why you have to research history. You have to research true history. You have to research that the men of the scriptures were men of color, women of color. You have to research the real kings and queens over there in Europe. You have to research and dig deep. Meaning, when I say research, I mean you have to dig deep in a way to find truth about history. So let's go back to the video.
To completely obliterate the legal rights of ordinary people to dissent against their evil agenda. After this quick break, we'll expose in forensic detail every legal move the global elite are making to clamp down on dissent and imprison people for sharing so-called misinformation. This is highly important information that must be spread around the world before it's too late. But first, an important message from our sponsor. Are you interested in reaching a large and growing audience? To advertise on our show, please email, where it's now official government policy that independent news and ordinary social media users can't publish misinformation. But The Guardian, the BBC, Disney, and Netflix can. Yes, it's true. The recently signed online...
Why is that? Because they bought and paid for
Safety Act brands the publication of false information.
Cyber flashing, epilepsy, trolling, and fake news to put online abusers behind bars today. New offenses have been introduced to criminalize cyber flashing, fake news intended to cause non-trivial harm, and other cyber flashing. What is that? Why is most stuff in French? The devil is busy. Cyber flashing. The act of someone using the internet to send an image of their naked body. Oh, wow. Especially the genitals. Crazy. To someone that they do not know who has not asked them to do this. So that's what cyber flashing. People's crazy out here. Cyber flashing, epilepsy, trolling. What is that? Let's look up this stuff. So epilepsy, for brothers and sisters who do not know, is a disorder of the brain characterized by repeated seizures. A seizure is usually defined as a sudden alteration of behavior due to a temporary change in the electrical functioning of the brain. Normally, the brain continuously generates tiny electrical impulses in an orderly pattern. This is the definition of epilepsy. Let's see, trolling. What does that mean? Epilepsy trolling. It became clear that online trolls have flooded the Epilepsy Society profile with images and gifs designed to trigger a seizure for people with epilepsy. So this is, yeah, they deserve to go to jail. But this devil could be behind it. See, that's the thing about subtlety, being subtle. This devil, he does things and create a problem, and then he have the solution. What is that called? Order out of chaos. Ordo of chaos, meaning, let's get that. Order of chaos. It means order out of chaos. So this devil, he creates all type of problems. See? And then he make it seem like people doing it, which I don't put this past some crazy niggas. And I ain't just talking about so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? Crazy people, period. But this devil does things like this, and then so he can crack down, because it said new offenses have been introduced to criminalize cyber flashing, which if you doing this, you an idiot. Any one of these. But if you doing this epilepsy trolling, you need to be locked up. Fake news intended to cause non-trivial harm to other online abuse. Oh my goodness. Let's continue.
A criminal offense, punishable by up to a year in prison, unless you're a mainstream media outlet, in which case it's totally legal. If you think even the corrupt and bloated global elite that rules over us would never dare be that blatant, take a look at section 179.
So let's take a look at this. It says, the message conveys information that the person knows to be false. At the time of sending it, the person intended the message or the information in it to cause non-trivial psychological or physical harm to a likely audience,
making it illegal to publish false information with intent to cause harm. And that's without even getting into Ofcom's Select Committee or how they choose to define misinformation.
Yeah. So if you say the 1948ers ain't the real people, that could be considered, misinformation, disinformation, lock him up. That's a part of that persecution, brothers and sisters. That's going to be a part of that persecution. Brothers teaching the word. That's going to go into the famine of the word as well. This devil going to crack down on the internet. And brothers teaching the word in its purest form, or even the Bible, period. It's going to be like, no.
Hint. It's anything that Bill Gates and the global elite disagree with, and especially anything that exposes their agenda. Welcome to the modern definition of freedom of speech, where the mainstream media are directly and explicitly permitted to knowingly publish false information with intent to cause non-trivial harm, while the independent media and people like you can be sent to jail for a year for calling out their lies.
Yeah, and that's why, again, in Luke 21, the Lord warned us of these things. But again, Luke 21:12, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons. Yeah, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Yes, for our Lord Yahushua sake. For what? Teaching his word, for being a believer, not bowing the knee. You will be dragged into synagogues and prisons, and you will stand trial before kings and governors because you are my followers. Yep. This is what's going to happen. This is a part of it. Through much tribulation shall we enter the kingdom of heaven. All right, roughly paraphrasing.
It's not just the UK. The elite are in the screw, the US too. The big tech
and that's why down here in the title is governments. It's plural because they're going to all be in a one world order, one agenda. It's not just going to be UK or it's just Mexico. It's just Russia. No, it's all of them going to be in league.
Started last week, and social media executives are already throwing their support behind the new Kids Online Safety Act. With the European Union's own Digital Services Act coming into force in Europe later this month, and all the focus on misinformation and disinformation at the WF's Davos Summit in January, we can see that the long-promised crackdown on internet free speech across the whole world is about to kick into gear. We are living in disturbing times. As those who've studied the mass formation psychosis and seen through the psyops, it's no exaggeration to say that the future of humanity now depends on the decisions we make from this moment forward. After all, we can't say that we weren't warned about their authoritarian dreams.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice. People don't feel like going to the stadium when they might get infected. It's not the government who's saying, okay, just ignore this disease. And, people are deeply affected. For the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population.
Yeah.
Hear the people's voice. We are determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite. But
yeah, that's the point. You see this devil, your boy Billy G, man. So, I was just wanted to bring this information out to you, brothers and sisters. Okay? This devil. Lord willing, this was edifying to the next lesson. Shalom.